This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you watch your A-game. A-made, no rain from the track when we unite and spit. This is an A-game, better bring your A-game. Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you watch your A-game. A-made, no rain from the...
Last night's episode was absolutely freaking incredible. Like, I'm sitting there, right? And I'm kind of, you know, the TV's kind of sucked lately, right? So I'm like looking forward to this episode a lot because Jeremy, our good buddy Jeremy Feinstone, texts me and he's like, "You need to watch this." And I'm like, "All right, man, I'm in." So he got it before I did. And then I'm excited because, like, you know, people have been building this up for a little while, right? And I'm really excited about this episode, right? So I'm in there and I'm like, I've texted Jeremy, like, "Oh wow, look, this is going great. What a good start." He's like, "Trust me, you get to the end, it's going to be unbelievable." So we get to the end of the episode and I'm just absolutely floored. I could not believe what I had witnessed. Like, this is my favorite show on TV right now. And there's not even a close second. Like, I was stunned. I was floored. It might be the best television program that I personally have watched in 2024. Like, I freaking love it. There's not a better show on TV. Yes.
JD.
What?
Are you talking about Dynamite?
No, Dynamite was fucking terrible this week. No, I'm talking about X-Men 97. Like,
okay, yeah.
No, why would I talk about Dynamite? Dynamite is freaking awful. That was one of the worst wastes of time in my life. No, after Dynamite was over, I was like, this shit's fucking awful. I'm going to go watch X-Men 97. Because Jeremy recommended, he goes like, you probably want to skip Dynamite and go right to X-Men. And I'm like, I can't do that. I got to watch Dynamite first. Boy, was he right. I should have just skipped right over Dynamite and went right to X-Men 97. However, X-Men 97, actually, I meant what I said about X-Men 97. Dynamite, on the other hand, ugh.
Yeah. So I watched Dynamite last night because I love a good, like, train wreck. You know what I mean? Like, not like a literal train wreck, but I like, like dumpster fires. And so I went ahead and I watched that instead of watching X-Men 97 last night, and I was upset with myself. And then I got up at 4 o'clock. Then I got up at 4 o'clock this morning, and I'm already like irritated. Got up at 4 a.m. I had a really good workout. I think I went like 70 minutes on my workout. I burned over 500 active calories, just killing it. But I woke up at 4 in the morning, and then I forgot to eat breakfast, and then I get to work.
Oh, that's not nice.
And then 9:30 rolls around. I'm fucking cranky. I end up leaving. I go grab some breakfast from the grocery store, and I come back, and I'm like just dragging ass. So I was like, screw it. My boss was gone. I didn't have a meeting until like 2 in the afternoon. Wife and kid were off doing something else during my lunch break. So I came home and I watched X-Men 97, and goddamn, that was a good episode of TV.
Dude, it's unbelievable. Like, it's like they're cobbling little bits of like all the best X-Men stuff from over the years, from after the TV show ended. And it's like the stuff of great fiction. Like, the characters are understandable and relatable, unlike All Elite Wrestling, and plots make sense and are going somewhere, unlike All Elite Wrestling. And then half the cast is dead by the end of the episode. Unfortunately, not like All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah. So I watched that, and then at the end of the episode, I was like, this is incredible.
Oh.
But there was a lot of stuff that I didn't personally understand, because I'm kind of like, I have not watched anything in like X-Men. Like, I haven't watched any of the cartoons since I was like a little kid. Right. So now I have to go back and watch the original series, and I'm kind of excited about it. That way I can kind of understand more of what's going on. That said, just because I didn't quite grasp everything, that didn't mean it wasn't an incredible episode. It fucking ruled. At the end of it, I was like, what the hell just happened? And I don't want to get into spoilers because it just came out yesterday. So I think everybody, if you have a Disney Plus account, you need to go ahead and check that out. But yeah, it was awesome. Totally made up for the stinkeroo from last night.
It's like the best X-Men adaptation ever done, right? Movies, TV, everything. This is a single episode, and it's gutsy. Like, I can't believe that Disney greenlit this, right? Because the writer actually went out and did a thing on Twitter, like, saying this is how I pitched the show to them, and I can't believe Disney said yes, we will do that. But I'm really glad they did, because fuck, is it a good show?
Yeah. All right, guys, I see everybody in the chat, and I will get to you guys in a little bit. But JD and I are going to go ham on this AEW story from last night. And then we're going to follow that up with my infamous, I've told this story a couple times, but if you haven't heard it, my infamous Akibono story, because rest in peace, Akibono. But I actually had an altercation with Akibono around 20 years ago in 2006, 2007 timeframe. My memory is a little foggy on the time. But and JD, you saw it on Facebook, right? So you can back me up. I had 3 people corroborate my story, right?
Can confirm. And I've heard you tell this story now on multiple occasions on multiple different platforms. So, and it's always been consistent. So I can say that nobody would make this shit up, man. Like nobody. This is Mike Gilbert through and through.
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit of Akibono, obviously. Rest in peace. And if you're coming here thinking I'm going to bury I in fact, when I told the story, I never once buried the guy, so that's not what's going to happen. So I'm not that kind of guy. I don't do that to people. So so yeah, let's go ahead and so first I got to remember my plugs. Patreon.com/The Mike and JD Show. Coming up this Sunday night, join JD, By God, Oliva, and myself as we watch They Live. It's finally happening. I had to postpone a week because I actually had family plans last Sunday.
It's my birthday.
My wife and kid were like,
I know.
They're like, oh, we planned on spending time with you. I was like, so what they did is they actually, like, we spent the whole day at the beach, and then we came back and we made a really nice dinner, and they sat and watched WrestleMania with me. And I'm like, they don't watch wrestling with me. You know what I mean? So they're like, it's your day. We're going to watch WrestleMania with you. And I was like, okay, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's all. I think they wanted to like go out to eat dinner, but I'm like, look, the best barbecue on Oahu is in my backyard. So let's just make food in the backyard. Let's just do that and then eat at home. So that's what we did. So this coming up Sunday, we're going to watch They Live, starring Roddy Piper, of course, directed by the great John Carpenter, one of JD's favorites. JD, are you going to do like a JD Oliva project talking about your love of John Carpenter? You've been saying it.
I know. I'm a busy person. And now that you're calling me out on the spot, I guess I have no choice now. So yeah, I'm going to do that. It'll be an accompanying piece to go with it. I'll probably lay it down tomorrow or Saturday, and watch it, because I'm just going to talk about how John Carpenter got to They Live, right? Because They Live is without a doubt his most anti-capitalistic, anti-80s film, and it takes him a while to get here. Like, this movie is his rejection of what had happened to him in the 10 years leading up to it. So I'm excited, man. I love this movie. I think this is stuff we could do more frequently, because there's a lot of wrestling movies and most of them suck.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'll pop the link in Patreon, and you guys can just click the link if you're a Patreon subscriber, and you'll just be in the green room or on the show with JD and myself, and we'll all watch the movie together on our computer screens as a family.
So I put this on my Facebook story this week that you and I were going to watch. Actually, last week that we were going to watch it. And I had a girl from high school reach out to me and say, "Oh, I watched this movie recently. How are you guys going to do this? Explain this process to me." And I was like, well, this is not a conversation I ever expected to have with like a normal person. So it was kind of cool. Like, we might get some stragglers checking this out with us. So I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah. That would be cool. Everybody join us, and it's only going to happen on Patreon live, because we can't use the footage. Obviously, we're not going to just put up a whole movie on Patreon. We'll, like, I've done some pretty dangerous stuff, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to nuke the whole deal.